Hi and welcome. My name is Katrina and this is our Vampire the Masquerade stream, the final interlude before we start season 3. Our lovely guest, that is not a guest anymore, he is staying put for season 3, so it's going to be important to have a little gander, a little view of what he's spent his time doing on the other side of the hedge. And also, our dearest favorite Tordor maybe has some lingering questions as she stands on the precipice of season 3. So I'm going to give them the chance to tell a little bit about their stories there. But before we start this evening's episode, as per usual, I would like my lovely two players to introduce themselves as well as their characters.
Hi, I am Marianne. I play Siobhan Price, 10th generation Toreador in Primogen. Yes.
You did it.
And I'm Daniel. I'm no longer the guest, I'm just Daniel. Yay! I'm the Prince of Daggers, the Autumn Knight, the previous bearer of Jonathan, and yeah, I'm in the market for new Jonathan.
So any takers?
Any takers?
Any meat
leave it in the
bags
comments.
out there?
Yeah, I would be very fascinated if
Yeah.
anybody has a recommendation of what kind of Jonathan he should have this time. Should it be, as Taye said, a more Danny DeVito looking fellow? Or are we going to go for a more, I don't know...
Please be kind to the eyes, for Shiv's sake.
Something more generally...
Full on Arnold.
Oh, yeah!
Hello, I am Jonathan.
Buff as fuck.
Can I? I'm skipping that episode.
That's a season, baby.
I mean, I already have a German. I don't need, or a Swiss, whatever. Those countries. Apologies to those from those countries.
But then he would be back, so it would be perfect to be an Arnold. Oh, the jokes. It's low-hanging fruit. It's low-hanging fruit.
It's so tempting to just go in for full Arnold, but I'm not going to do it.
But then again, we are curious if you guys have some input to what kind
Jesus,
of...
this is Austrian, not sweet. God damn it. I apologize to all the Arnold fans out there. Okay. Sorry, I'm done.
She's done. Well, that's a good thing, because we're going to bench Shiv for a moment. As the camera is going to go back into that moment where the Prince of Daggers, the Autumn Knight, returned home. The sweet smell of the dreaming of his homeland, where this technology and banality of the mundane human world is almost like a forgotten memory or a bad dream. The sky is a beautiful purple blue. It's almost like it's a forever dawn or forever dusk. It's a perpetual state of in-between beauty. The grass is always the most beautiful color green in the fields. He knows he's standing pretty much smack dab in the middle of the Four Kingdoms. I would say to the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so the east would be the house of spring. And the west, well, that's home. The north would, of course, is the kingdom of winter, and so on. He stands there, Pearl, safely kept.
I think the first thing he'll do is, after taking a deep breath and just enjoying the air, he's actually going to take a knee and just run his hand through the grass. And then he's going to pick up the pearl and sort of speak to it and like, well, time to get you home.
So the honorable knight will do the honorable thing, and before even seeing his sweet mother, Does his father still live? He does not know. He left one sister behind. But they must wait. A pledge was made. So the prince turns on his heels and heads towards spring. You see the beautiful white city, covered in cherry blossoms in a perpetual state of bloom. They are always blooming, always falling in an ever state of becoming. You know you are spotted long before you see the first guards. The pathway up to the beautiful kingdom city, it's very, very much Lord of the Ring, when the Fellowship comes to the elf city. I can't remember the name. Isn't the first one?
Yeah, I know. I'm losing all my nerd creds, and I'm just gonna go and hide.
Same. I'm like, I can't remember the name, but this will be the aesthetic of the fair city of the House of Spring. It is, but it's even more not so autumny, and because it's very autumny in the Fellowship, it's even more lush, even more of the cherry blossom, apple blossom, and constantly blowing, and the petals from the trees constantly. You see white stags. Everything that you would ever think of looking into, almost like a fairy movie, Disney movie of a spring setting. It is astounding. You have seen this place before, obviously. As you approach the main gate, you see two guards and their big spears, like weapons, cross the path.
The prince is just gonna stop and stand there looking at them. I am the Autumn Knight, the Prince of Daggers, and I seek the Queen.
You know her name. She's the Queen of the White Hall.
I seek the Queen of the White Hall.
The king is long dead. Yeah, the king is long dead.
Yeah, I have news of her daughter.
You do not necessarily expect them to do anything at this moment. Not until you see a white stag walk down the path. They remove their spears. The stag waits for you. It's a greeting company.
I give a bow and then I follow.
It bows back, and of course this is a dreaming, so the creature speaks. It has 4 eyes. You were banished. No more?
I was, but my banishment is undone.
This is a good thing. It questions.
It is a complicated thing.
Most things should be complicated. This is very philosophical. Philosophical?
God, I know the word. Why can I say it? Philosophical.
Philosophical. White stag with 4 eyes.
God, words, they're hard.
You see as you walk in, and the spirals of different towers and different beautiful buildings, you see the Fae and also changelings of the House of Spring look upon you in silence. As a constant, like, beautiful soft winds of spring brings these beautiful pink petals all around you, catching your garment, and your colors in the human world were almost always like black and like almost fatigued. Here, for every moment and every step you take in the dreaming, the colors changes a bit in your garments. You see the amber, you see like elements of gold in your armor. It comes back into life. Some bow, some almost whisper, but no words are spoken. The stag leads you into the very open and very grand main hall of the House of Spring. On a throne you see the beautiful queen sits. Aged, perhaps, but still beautiful. Cloaked in white gowns with a silver crown of branches. At her side, you know her well. Well, as well as one prince can to our princess. Is the Lady of the Morning River. And the entire court of importance stands there.
Just fanatically writing things down because I feel I need to use it.
The stag enters first and addresses the queen. The returned Prince of Daggers, the renowned Autumn Knight, requests to speak to you, Queen. She nods. Pale, beautiful, eyes almost milky blue. A stark difference to the Prince of Daggers' visage. She is not what humans would call a beauty, but in the Fae world, she is striking.
The prince walks in and he takes a knee and he like bows deeply, and whatever other courtly
Appropriate etiquette.
Appropriate etiquette, because me personally isn't actually of fair royalty, so I don't know.
No,
I don't know. They might have a secret handshake.
Yeah, you have to do a little boogie dance. No.
Yeah, exactly. I do the Macarena. And
yeah, and then everybody goes, "Yes, this is very good.
Yes,
it's very good etiquette." No.
The 20 minutes of twerking. That's always done.
That's what they do in the Fae world. That's why humans do it now. But no, it's very elegant and it's very proper.
Yes. And even sort of without looking up, Queen, I bear news of the Lady of the Night River. She has passed.
Weird sounds go through the court itself. She only lifts one hand with very, very long fingernails, and they all shush.
In the moments of her passing, I gave her my word that I would bring her home, and he takes out the pearl.
She waves ever so gently to the Lady of the Morning River, the younger sister. She walks over, her very white, golden or silver hair all the way down to her waist. She moves like a brook. You cannot hear her footsteps. She elegantly cups your hand, and for a moment embraces the pearl in yours. You feel an enormous sense of sadness, but rejoice at the same time. "We are grateful," she whispers.
And it just takes a moment and breathes.
She puts it at her mother's feet, as is custom. The court is very silent, and all eyes are not on you anymore, but at the queen. A single silver tear runs down her cheek. She's very expressionless. There's no sign that she is in mourning or happiness or joy or anything. It's just one silver tear. She looks at her youngest, and the youngest step forward again. We thank you, Autumn Night, for bringing our lost one home. Pray tell, do you know of our brother?
She told me that he was no more. But that was before we met. The world was harsher to him than it was to her. He lost himself. But she was as elegant as ever, and actually took up a position of royalty, helping those that needed it.
You see a slight smile on the lady of the Morning River. Again, the queen, no expression. You have restored our house's honor by bringing our lost sister home. It saddens us that our brother was lost to the world of Adam. But he chose that story, and he followed it to the end. Tell me then, sweet Prince of Daggers, how did she fall?
And he now the voice increases a little bit, and he sort of speaks to the room. It was the sons of Adam. They fell her.
You hear hissing.
But I have given my word and my promise to your daughter that I would return to that world and settle the score.
Again, there is movement, not chitter chatter, because they
No.
don't. Again, you see the queen lifts her hands up. The lady of the Morning River says, we thank thee. And if you are to return, to avenge? She questions.
To protect those that your sister took under her wing. To protect those that cannot protect themselves, that are being hunted by the sons of Adam. And to make sure that those hunters stop. But also, there's a price of vengeance that needs to be paid.
We celebrate that, Prince of Daggers. And in this celebration, you will be gifted the 3 nights of Ever. We will send with you our 2 strongest. So that you can fulfill her legacy as her honor has been restored, and ours. Go to their keep. They will know that you will be coming and collect our 2 finest. But I am sure, and then again the lady smiles. Your family longs for you. Take the stag, ride safe home, and know you did well. And there will be songs written about you coming home.
He just bows deeply.
The stag moves up beside you. Well, I would say that was quite grand. It has a smirk.
It looks over to the stag and be like, "And you noble creature, what do I call you?"
Me? Oh, I would be called the wise one. 4 eyes.
Wise one, very well.
I chose it myself.
Good name.
Well, let's get you home, Autumn Night.
Oh, it's been so long. Let's go.
You mount the stag and it takes you out past the gates of the House of Spring, through the beautiful grasses until you hit the big forests that starts green and beautiful and then slowly turn into a golden amber of the perpetual fall. You know these forests, you grew up in them. This is your neck of the woods. You know every corner, every branch, every little hidey hole in the mountains, in the forest nooks.
He
And
looks
you-
at one of the trees and be like, "Ah, you've grown a lot."
It huffs. Are you calling me fat?
No, it's in a good way. You were I was worried about you.
Shut up. You called me fat.
That guy, on the other hand, now points to an oak.
What? Yeah, got a sense of humor in the dreaming. And before long, the House of Fall looks in the same way as the House of Spring, but there's more. Everything is a little bit more like. There's a bit more stone, a little bit more marble, a little bit less of these white spirally things. It's a little bit more. I'm not going to say medieval because it's still very, very ordained, but it has a little bit more masculinity to it. Beautifully carved, a stone slab leaps you up to the main gates, which tells the story of your forefathers and foremothers. And also you remember being told by your mother to remember the stories, because stories is everything. Without stories, we are nothing. You see the guards. They immediately move to the side. Trumpets. And you hear them as they, almost like they piggyback each other. And you know this is going to be called into the Great Hall of Fall. As you get closer, you see the subjects and the Fae of Fall. Not so subdued as at the House of Spring. They come running, children come running. Goblins, ogres, trolls. Leaves and confetti, fairy confetti are being thrown.
Yeah. The knight is sort of doing greetings and doing waves and sort of like greeting his people, like as of a triumphant return from, you know, whenever he was out in some grand battle, and sort of the same feeling, and just there's almost a tear to the eye. He's fighting all he can to keep it back.
The massive, beautiful steps up to the Great Hall, with these beautiful statues again, carved almost like out of petrified wood of your forefathers and mothers, as they look down upon you. They felt incredibly large when you were young. They still do, but now, I don't know. Maybe at one point you know you're going to fall into the rank, if you're so lucky with your story.
As he walks by those, he sort of just touches the base of one of them and sort of just takes a moment.
Before you even step into the hall, your youngest sister, Lady Morgana, the Princess of Tales, almost bum rushes you.
I think so. The prince sort of just takes a wide stand, but then sort of picks her up in like a hug and sort of just spins around a few times.
She's still in her young adolescence, still a child. With same features as you, the big shiny eyes, a mouth that opens a little bit too wide. But you've never seen such a sweet face. You've returned, brother.
As he puts her down, he gets sort of down on his knee to be on her level, and he's like, "Wow, look at you! You've really grown, haven't you?"
I think a whole inch.
You have to tell me everything that's happened later, but later.
And she's like, "Oh." That shocks. And the final trumpets are almost into a cacophony of celebration, and you see the court comes in and there are clapping and your name is shouted. This is not like the House of Spring where it was very quiet and very dimmed. Here it's bravado. You see your father, the king, and he is the king. He is the king of the fallen.
The king of the fallen?
Mm-hmm.
Again, he bows and does whatever courtesy or curtsy or whatever it's called. I don't do words today.
By his side, you see your sweet mother, and they both look very aged. Their skin has now started to turn into that leathery, petrified color. But they look a little bit more revived as you enter. They look more or less, if you've seen the Golden Army with Hellboy.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like, your father looks like that, but not as old, not as bearded. He's more of a, he looks like you, but an older version, no beard.
Yeah.
But
Me,
a very,
but with wrinkles.
yeah, but a very, very like, you see the petrifiedness starts from the crown, but then it goes into autumn leaves. He waves. You know him not to be a man of a lot of expressions. Your mother was better at that.
Yeah. He also knows not to talk first, so but he does then approaches as he's waved up.
You see, almost like he takes a breath to speak. The returned son. The story has been rewritten. The library is now intact. You are no longer banished. You have redeemed yourself in the land of man. You have restored your honor, and you may take your rightful place at my side.
The Open Knight bows again. And thank you, Father. Before I take my place at your side for a long time, I have a promise to keep.
You see your mother's worried expression.
The Lady of the Night River was slaughtered by the sons of Adam.
There's hooting and hollering and hissing in the court.
And so the voice raises a little bit as soon as it gets that reaction. It raises a little bit and sort of talks to the room. And I gave my word that would not go unpunished. that they would learn what would happen when they messes with royalty of the dreaming.
You hear applause, you hear the wretched creatures of Adam, take them all, harvest them, break their bones, make them into asp and ash.
But as soon as my dealings are done over there, and I have restored both the name but also the place from a lady of the Night River, and that the heir to the kingdom, the land of Adam, has been restored, I will return.
Applause again. The shouting of your title and your lineage. They recite your forefathers and foremothers' names. The king hushes them. And you must honor this quest. As a knight of autumn, as the Prince of Daggers. You must.
He just does a little bow.
You must not fail. He says this as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even like
No.
You
No,
must not fail.
Yeah, you must not fail. He is very aware. It was the Queen of the White Hall has already given me 2 of their best knights.
You see, then the Queen actually says,
Yes.
"Sweet son, the free knights of ever.
Yes.
Dearest Queen, sweet husband, we must match this. Please give him what he has lost. Please give it back." She almost smiles, but also like, your mount. I will restore it for you. I will also give you the blade of the fallen. Let it be known that the House of Autumn will not be outshone by the House of Spring to help an honorable quest.
And then the prince is going to, so you honor me, father, and then sort of turn a little bit to the room and go, and any hunter, a warrior that seeks new foe, that wants to hunt one of the most cunning and wretched enemy you have yet seen, will be more than welcome to join in hunting of the sons of Adam.
You hear hoot and hollering, and there's bliss, and on that, the camera's going to pan out through the whole crowd as the mother now, the mum, the queen herself, she rushes down and also embraces you as your youngest does, your father. Too much, maybe he's too petrified to the throne at this point. You are being cooed and kissed and loved, and a feast shortly thereafter takes place. In that feast, though, as you are to drink the finest wine, someone smacks the back of your head. Your whole nose, face is now covered in the finest of wines, though that's not where it goes.
There's just a moment where all of the banality of human will sort of, there's just a flash of anger, but then be like, collects himself and then starts laughing and be like, but he's home, and he turns to whoever did this, and
Your childhood friend, the Trickster King, of no royal lineage, stares at you.
With all this time, I thought you'd at least have something more fun. And
He
goes
yeah,
in.
embraces.
Yeah.
But he's even more gaunt. Like he's not as tall, but he's very, very gaunt, very long-limbed, almost like a
Yeah.
spider monkey. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. And his nose is a little bit more, almost like goblin-esque, even more
Oh, yeah.
crooked. It's like, well, I thought you had left this place, then leave all the lovely fair ladies for my picking. But here you are, stumbling in on a goddamn white stag of spring.
Even if I
Thanks.
left for 1,000 years, you wouldn't be able to pick the ladies I could.
Ah, well, they don't call me the Trickster King for nothing. Them ladies, it's in some fine light and some good wine. You wouldn't
Well,
believe.
for anybody to go home with you, you sure have to pull some tricks. And he sort of just laughs and
Well, that's in the
Get-
name, he says. That's in the
gets-
name.
gets him some wine and sort of gives him a cheers. And he sort of more or less just forces him down sort of to sit. Because we're like, we're sitting here, we're talking now. And tell me everything. Well, not everything.
He's like, and he's shining. I was like, are you sure? And great discuss. And this was your childhood friend.
Yeah.
Most absolutely. He was the one that primarily got you into trouble when, in the end, you got yourself in the worst kind of trouble. And he tried to talk you out of what happened, so you got banished. And as you discuss, it is very evident and very clear that he will not leave your sight or your side this time around. He leans in over the cup of wine. I've never hunted these hunters, these golden sons of Adam. I think they would be fine sport.
They are tricky and fickle, but that makes the hunt even sweeter, does it not?
I think I might be able to have some great tales told, and maybe I can finally get that knighthood I've been sniffing around. You said like the fine free knights of ever?
Oh, yeah.
I know they're not necessarily picking at what house people come from, but they do like renown. Yes, I will honor your quest with my presence, and we will be very successful because of me.
Just a full-on belly laugh. Oh, I've missed your jokes, old friend.
Oh, I speak the truth. I am a truth. I am a sage. And my singing voice, it has improved. And he starts singing, and it's
Oh
horrendous.
God! Well, that doesn't take much.
It's like some fine ladies swore about. It's like, oh, the Prince of Waterman, and they're like, shrieking. And they
Yeah,
leave.
just Everybody has tinnitus now. Good
And
to see that some things still are the same.
Well, the same has been boring, old friend. And I am hungry for adventure. And also renown. And I can't let you be the only one prancing in a hall on a white stag. I will prance in on 2 stags, and they will be purple.
You know what? When we get to the world of Adam, I'm the king.
I've been the trickster king since I was slid out of my mother. I
Wow.
can teach you.
Samos is actual royalty. You need
Wow.
subjects, you know.
That sounds like a job. I just want the renown. You can do all the heavy lifting, and I can get all the glory. Deal. He shakes and just picks up your hand and shakes it violently.
More wine is just spilling
Yeah.
everywhere.
And the night is fun, and the night is spent telling tall tales and also explaining about the world of Adam. Because the Trickster King, or Dexter, actually,
Dexter. definitely not a serial killer.
No, not at all.
No.
Uh,
We'll see about that.
What's about that?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Oh, we'll get it. On that little note, we're just gonna have a quick break, and then we're gonna take a little gander in on Shiv before we're gonna have a little gander back at the autumn night before everything comes together. So we'll be back in just a few, the viewers. Bye. Welcome back from the break. We're gonna leave the autumn night in his beautiful world in the dreaming from a moment. And hot tub time machine. We are gonna go into the future, or may I say the present, as 2 years has passed since the autumn night left the world of man. And many interesting things has passed and transpassed, or transgressions, or other fun things. The camera's gonna pound in to the Y, in to Shiv's private quarters. Not late in the night, not too early. As a certain someone is cupping her hair and sniffing her neck and cooing over her and her sensibilities and sensuality. He lifts his eyebrows, ever so cocky as he always does when he's about to leave her side, as this, well, from his standpoint, budding romance. Dearest Shiv, always such a treat and pleasure.
You're leaving so soon. Why don't you stay for a while?
I wish I could, but this busy place you have whisked me off to. And I must keep your interests protected and intact. I find myself invested in you, Shiv, for more reasons than one. It's turned out to quite the adventure.
Remind me to thank Alexander again for introducing us. You've
Thank
become...
I might give him a parade. He kisses
I do love
your
having
neck.
you here.
You can feel his fangs graze the neck. As always, beautiful one. I will not keep you. I know you are busy.
Such
But-
a tease.
Ah, just a tease, dearest.
But I can't help it.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a mouse in a trap. I'm not complaining.
Nor should you.
He kisses you deeply and almost tips you over like on old movies from the 1930s. Sometimes he behaves like he's very old world, an old adventure.
I completely let him do whatever.
Ah, well, one last kiss then. And I'll be off until next time. He holds your hand a little bit longer as he moves away, picks up a jacket, throws it over his shoulder ever so nonchalant as Eve enters, looks at him, the tasteful gaze. Mr. Hamilton. Eve.
See you soon, Marco. Can't wait.
We will just be from one another for a mere moment. I would long and ache every second I'm away from your beautiful gaze.
The way you use words. It's like an old movie, isn't it?
As it should, he says. Have a beautiful evening filled with pleasure and adventure.
Same to you.
He leaves. Eve stands there in a dark blue dress, hands folded in front.
I'll get up, and I'll move towards her. And I'll stop next to her and look at her. Manners, Eve.
I know, mistress, I know.
Means to an end. Means to an end.
The liberties, mistress. I find them vulgar. But I know it's not my place.
It needs to be. But not for long. I hope.
You look fatigued, mistress, I
I
hope.
feel like I need a bath, that's what.
I will run one, and Hashimoto, he will be here within the hour.
Thank you. And please put out something nice. Something purple. I feel purple. Yes.
She looks at you actually with great concern. You're strong, mistress. Stronger than you think to endure what you are enduring.
Bath? Now, please.
And Shiv is scrubbing off Mr. Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
He fits. Or at least that's what Hashimoto has been saying. That he might be exactly what you are looking for. He says, and has been saying for at least a year and a half, that you should not search for others. This might be it. Dangling a carrot. Keep him happy, keep him content, keep him in the city.
Keep him interested.
Only Hashimoto could maybe pick up the slack.
To say the least. I think Shiva's... Every time she's with him, she thinks of him. And by him, I mean Aiden. She thinks of Aiden. And it feels as a betrayal at the same time. Because even though she doesn't want this, she does have this kind of strange, unnatural fondness of him at the same time.
He is fun, and he makes the night less painful. He is a distraction, a beautiful, fun one.
Yes.
And he has been excellent at keeping Mr. Nightingale off your heels after the incident of that strange murder that just came and went with no explanation 1 year ago.
Mm. Yeah, he's useful.
You can hear that Eve has put on beautiful music. As you get out of the bath, She makes sure you are toweled. A beautiful, actually, evening gown in purple. Open back. Silk. Very draped. High split on one side. It takes a certain kind of queen to wear that. Mere moments later, as hair is done, makeup done, jewelry, if she so wishes it, has been put in its rightful place. Eve says, Mr. Hashimoto is here, mistress.
I'll cup her cheek and give her a kiss on her forehead. Thank you, Eve.
It's my pleasure and my duty always. Again, she looks concerned.
Don't think anything bad, Eve. Don't worry, your little pretty head of yours.
It is my job and my pleasure to worry about you and your well-being. These men, mistress, they take too much and they give too little.
Not all.
Maybe
and I'll
not.
just kind of my eyes kind of, yeah.
Graze up to the sanctum.
Yes. The very reinforced sanctum. Yeah. I think everything from spells to actual Jesus. Words today as well, me, I don't know them.
It's reinforced.
Yeah.
It's double doors. It's also set up with protection ward by Hashimoto.
Yeah.
He glides in a dark suit. Chinese collar. He looks always impeccable. Hair slicked back in a loose ponytail.
I'll bow deeply for. I think that's what we do.
Deeper.
Yeah.
Miss Price. Permission.
Akio. Call me Shiv, remember? It's
It
been
will
so
never be
long.
It will never be accustomed to me.
Do you want me to go back to calling you by your last name? I would be happy to.
Whatever you find suitable and comfortable. I'm happy either way. How are you faring? I know you haven't been able to partake in the blood.
I would be lying if I said it was easy.
I know.
Fatigued, I think, would be a word worthy of describing it.
Please sit. I think I have cracked a code. You remember that fatal night when I asked you not to partake in it?
Yes. Horribly so.
As far as I could see, someone has done some magic within the city that contaminated what I was doing.
Someone?
I do not know whom and who would have that skill set.
Divinta?
But now I know what it is, at least. And I have managed to work around it.
I'll go close and I kind of grasp his hands.
You can
Truly?
thank the blood of the Callisto for this. Someone powerful had put out a dirty, powerful spell of revealing. If you had indulged in the blood, it would be telling. Not that it was, but that you were doing something that would be forbidden. Or dangerous, or other. You would have been made, dearest Siobhan.
You know,
I could not let you until I figured how long it lasted and why. and how to work around it, I could not give you more blood.
I thank you for it because I've had both Nightingale and probably the winter breathing down my neck.
I
They
do
don't know,
suspect
I
this is
think,
the winter.
but
I do suspect her. I
right.
also have to say I suspect, and I do know you are fond of the prince and the old friendship, but it feels like it comes from... It takes a lot to do what has been done. A mere house
wouldn't-
wizard wouldn't have the resource to do such a mass effect spell. You have to understand, this hit the entire city for a minute.
So not just magic, but resources that was used to create this. Is that
You could almost see it like someone threw out a large net, and wherever the net touched of this kind of magic that we are doing, it would ping.
I wouldn't put it past Christopher. I wouldn't.
I'm not saying it is him. I'm saying if it is not him, maybe someone close to him.
Well, if someone was doing that, they're probably not doing it under his nose, but with his consent or even order.
I will not put that suspicion on the prince, because I do not think he would harm you in that way. I'm more concerned that someone is making decisions above their pay grade. He might have a snake in his court, Miss Price.
Well, there is still someone in this city that we have yet to unveil. Or maybe he's known all the time. Christopher. This is for another time. It doesn't
Of
matter
course.
right now. But I do thank you for the information, truly.
We are united in the cause, always. I would
Callisto.
not...
I'm sorry.
The blood. We have spoken of this briefly before, but she being a host to such a powerful creature as a djinn, even her human form is infused with raw, powerful magic. If I were to have even more of her blood now, we could quicken your quest.
I knew that night would haunt me. I knew I should have kept her to myself.
If we could have more, and I know I've said this before, but what we are to do, and it grabs your hand, what we are to do, dearest Siobhan, I told you it would demand the greatest of sacrifices. We have now a very, very good possible host. We do not need to look for others. Everything seems to... His blood is reacting perfectly.
Are you sure about that?
There's testing yet to be done. This is a tricky, tricky thing.
It's been almost 2 years. And I am dragging him along. Sure, he is amusing, but still.
Yeah, he touches his forehead. If I was at the tower with several other Tremere, I could have worked at 10 times the speed, but alas, dearest Siobhan, I'm the only servant to this cause. And because I wish to bring back someone as well, it's twice the time.
Do we know anything more about the timeline, the actual timeline? You said it depended on her birth.
If he is too much of a nuisance, if you can give me more of the Callisto blood, I might be able to put him in a stasis at least.
I'm not sure that would work. I'm not doubting your skills, of course. It's just that he's become useful in other ways.
Well, there are ways, Miss Price, if... Well, we pledged, didn't we not? He holds your hands even tighter, to go down this rabbit hole together. Come hell, come everything, on the altar of the ones, well, we love, we will sacrifice, right?
Have no doubt about that. We have not come this far, done all the things we've done for naught.
If you...
I am committed.
There is a way that he be less of a nuisance to you, but just as loyal. It's a glamour, it's a trickery. I'm lacking some components. The
Tell
gin
me.
might be the answer. I need that level of magic.
I cannot make any promises, and I disconnect from him and I just do a little walk in the room.
Because if you could consume what I am thinking and he fed off you, you're using your power, you could make him think and believe that anything has transpired, but you do nothing at all. And none would be the wiser. The problem is
This
it
is
needs
full
not
of
to be a
proof.
vampire magic. And vampire powers, it will be known and spotted.
And you're not afraid that this is yet another layer?
We are
That-
too deep down the rabbit hole, Shiv. Are you gonna be weak and unsteady in your feet now?
No, never, never. How dare you?
I'm
After
sorry.
all that I have done.
He almost falls to his knees in front of you. I beg your forgiveness. I beg your forgiveness. We are so close. We are so close, Shiv. You see it in his eyes. It's almost you see a red tear.
And now
So-
is not the time for doubt, is it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I thought more of you.
I'm sorry. I do not wish you to think that I disbelieve your conviction or nor you mine. There was so much at stake. We need to keep him. But if he brings fatigue to you, there are ways.
I will think about it. And if whatever conclusion I come to, I will find solutions.
Of course. I humbly apologize. And please, and he actually bows and pushes over one of those very beautiful black boxes.
I take, and I'm probably a little too hasty.
Yeah,
Like-
snap.
Yeah.
You hear the beast growl at it. Drink it now, drink all of it. Shouts in your skull so hard you almost feel like a nosebleed. Like the room shakes.
I thank you for coming, but I think it's time that you left.
Of course. Of course. He gets up. He walks backwards and bows.
I don't courteous back at all. I think, yeah. I go deeper into my apartment after I see that he actually leaves. And I enter a passage to the upstairs that wasn't there
Hidden-
previously.
Oh, hidden one.
It probably has a lot of like fail surface and all that. Yeah.
And I also think now but that's up to you. Do you keep the painting and the scarab and all your little goodies in the sanctum now? The scroll.
No, not there. But I have a different room. It's actually on the floor that was previously empty. There is a apartment there now, and in the end of that apartment, there is a hidden door into a kind of like a vault situation, but a vault with a big ass room. And there, I have, knickknacks, things.
Well, you get
yeah.
into your beautiful sanctum, and there they lay in their glass coffin, ever shifting between Trixie, Aiden, and Rose.
And how long has it been since I've actually seen him, spoken to him?
2 years.
Jesus. Yeah, okay. I'm probably, as I enter, already glugging down that thing. Like, not even thinking about it. It's just open up. And as I walk towards them.
It's almost like it's like a rush of blood that hits your your visual sensory system, and almost like you're walking into water and out from a dark grassy hill. You see he comes with speed.
I don't have celerity, but I don't think it matters in here, so I'll run towards him.
And he grabs for you. No words are even uttered as kisses are laid. Shiv went in here with a need and a passion. The sky is red with a red star in it, as they rip and tear at each other's clothes and flesh. On top of him, Shiv looks like a red queen. Blood from the top of her forehead down to her waist. It is how vampires love. It is not for mortal eyes. So I'm going to darken that scene for a minute. Into a timescape. The dreaming is very unspecific where it is in the timeline. The Prince of Daggers has had time with his sweet sister, the Princess of Tales. And of course your father the king, but he, you see, he's getting more and more petrified and lost to time. Your mother still moves. Not as she did, but still free. At your side, the Trickster King stands. Are you ready, sweet, sweet, sweet son?
As ready as I'll ever be within what needs to be done.
And please heed your father's word, do not fail.
That is no option. I will never do that again. I have tasted it once. It wasn't for me.
Let me give you a mother's blessing. She whispers to you in the old tongue and kisses your forehead. May you have a clean death if it comes. May they not take your soul if it comes. May you return home if it comes. Not that she doubts you, but this is a mother's concern. By your side, your dearest little sister stands, and she holds a shroud covering a blade. And you know it, it's your father's blade.
It's smiles.
The blade of the fallen.
Aren't you a little young one? Aren't you a little too young to be playing with such things?
I get to hold it, but I've been told it will be mine one day.
It'll be mine first, little sister.
Yeah, but you... I don't know, you might die, she says. Your mother, like, bumps her. Morgana. No, he won't. No, sorry. But one day you'll be old and die. That's what I meant. And then I'll be mine.
You have to wait still a long time until this will be yours. And he sort of takes it.
It sings. It's lightweight. It doesn't even feel like it has any weight to it, but you know it very well. It will not give you away. It will not shine in any light. It will be as invisible.
He does say, sort of, as he takes it, he will admire the blades, look at the hilt, and just take some time and sort of just, with the blunt edge, sort of just hold it over his hand and admire it as...
It's a tricky thing, because sometimes you can't even see it.
And it feels right.
It's a clever little thing. The Trixikin stands beside you and he's petting your steed. Fiery. So when do I get one of these?
Over my dead body. Probably.
He's like, don't test me. Don't test me.
Well, when you become a knight, we'll see about it.
Well, what are we waiting for then? The night of autumn.
For you to catch up as always, my friend.
Ah! He's like, one of these days. One of these days. Go with our blessing, your mother says. Go with the house of autumn's blessing. And return victorious.
Give her a hug and then kiss her cheek. Get down on my knee again to be on the level as my sister and like, I'm not gonna be gone as long as this time, so don't grow too much.
I'll be like 10 meters when you return.
10 meters, huh?
And I'll beat you up and I'll take the blade.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. And sort of gives her a hug and then ruffles her hair.
She hugs you very long.
And when it
Please
becomes
don't die, she says. Please don't die. Promise.
They're never gonna get me. Come on, I'm trickier than them.
Yeah, throw him in front of anyone. She points
Of course. Of course, twice.
He said, funny.
And then go to tickle her, so just a little bit, and sort of to lighten the moment. And I would also like to spend the time between sort of.
You're going, yeah, but you're also going to the Night of Ever now.
Okay, yeah.
That's
yeah,
where
but
you're
just spending some time just telling tales of the sons of Adam and sort of just put in the seed of some spite just towards them, so in case anything should happen, that might spike in total uproar and a full-on war.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm just planting the embers to burn the world.
No, why not? Moments later, you leave with celebration and sadness as the people of the House of Autumn, of that kingdom, again sees their prince leave, but not in shame, now in hopeful glory. Your steed talks to you like the stag did. Been a minute, sire.
It's been too long.
What shape am I supposed to take in this human world?
There are many wretched things in machines. I do not think We'll discuss it. As we ride. And then he's sort of going to start explaining, because he's trying to explain that horses aren't really a thing, but there's a thing called the motorcycle.
The motorcycle.
Like the motorcycle, but it's not the bicycle, because those are different.
The keep of the keep of the Free Knights of Ever that you have been corresponding with and have been to. It's literally what it is. It's free knights. It's knights that are looking for glory, knights that are looking to get renown, maybe to get a stronghold or keep of their own. You knew, and you know when you arrive there, you will get the two strongest ones. It's a female and a male. She kind of can remind you of like from Game of Thrones, the very tall blonde one.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth.
Brianna, yeah.
Yeah.
But she looks more goblin-esque, like you do.
Yeah, she's prettier.
Yeah.
In the goblin's eyes.
Yeah. she looks you up and down. I'm the Knight of Shadows. Beside her, it's a fucking troll. Smaller one. Built like a brick shit house. And he's like, I'm the Knight of the Hidden Path. We are to accompany you on your quest. Gifted to you by the House of Spring.
Oh, we will fight a foe that you have not seen the like of.
She looks at it. I doubt it.
Foe that think they're out clevering us. Foe that need their trinkets and technology, but will not stand a chance.
Maybe they outtricked you, Autumn Knight. But we are the knights. Free knights of Ever.
Careful how you talk.
You see that the troll is like, damn! Shadow! She's like, of course, you're our royal blood. I will respect that. But as a knight, I will keep you to a standard that you must live up to.
We will meet an enemy who will fight so dirty and so cheaply that you will be surprised by how low they are willing to go. These enemies do not know honor. They do have no valor.
Then she smiles, and then you see her grin goes all the way up. Then they make it easy for us, Prince of Daggers.
Exactly.
Then they are mere sheep and cattle.
Well, even amongst the sheep, there might be a ram or two.
Then you hear like the Knight of the Hidden Path. He's like, well, that sounds just good sport.
This is gonna be fun.
Take us to the hedge then, Knight of Autumn. Let's go to the land of the Adams.
To glory. To renown.
And in the dreaming, to find the hedge is to want the hedge to be there. And the hedge is a chaotic and crazy place. But you are a true fae. You know, feebler minds break when they pass through the dreaming. For you, it's more or less just opening a door with your mind as you see the hedge. You have to visualize where you're going. Look past it like Alice in Wonderland looking through the looking glass. First, it's just like a mirage, like images in disturbed water. And then as you stay harder with your mind, whatever you visualize where you're going, and if you've been there, it gets clearer and clearer. Your party of knights, and the trickster king, and your steed.
Right before we're gone, it just looks over to him. I'm sure you'll be fine.
It's like, I'm sure they have both wine and ladies. Are human ladies any to look upon, he says. I only seen the changed one. The changed, and I can do a changeling. But the human ones, are they to our taste? Can they handle the trickster king? He says, with his very long fingernails as you are going towards the hedge.
Compared to you, a rock with moss on is good looking, come on.
Yes, he said. Another conquest is ready to be taken.
And before they sort of go through, then the Autumn Knight is going to just explain that about Jonathan's and the need sort of...
You need to have it.
Yeah, not sure how much the knights and such, what they know about...
Oh, the knights they know, but the trickster king does not. The knights know.
Well,
the knights have ever known. The knights have ever
okay.
have been to the mundane world. Maybe
Okay,
briefly. Yeah.
good,
But
good.
Yeah. They know, but the trickster king knows nothing.
Okay, yeah, well then I would have spent days just like sitting, just explaining things, just like the basic shit of how a building looks and everything like that, so he's not gonna freak out as we get there.
Last time you passed through the edge was a shameful affair. As she was pushed out of the dreaming, banished, ripped out of your world and the safety of your family and your renown. Now you walk through with purpose, determination, a kingdom to keep and hold. The Moth King and the land of Adam. As he breaches through, year 5. Shiv. The beautiful congregation of Aiden, as again he holds you. Why so long, love?
It wasn't safe. I couldn't. They would have found out. They would have stopped me.
I've missed you so terribly, and this place is so maddening. He looks at you and he looks weird for a minute, like his eyes are too big.
I need you to be strong for me, Aiden. I need you to hold on.
He grabs you very tight. Can you hear it, though? Can you hear the thunder? Can you hear the horses? Chef, the horses, they scream.
I cannot. But please, look into my eyes. Use me as your anchor. Please, please let me steady you. Please let me be your safe harbor through this. I know I've been away and I have...
How long was this maddening continue?
Not long, not long. I promise you.
We're
almost there.
I touched you. And he looks away and you see the rose on the hill stares down. This place, it grows thicker. The maze and the rooms are darker.
She's not doing anything to you, is she? And I look to Rose.
No, she's lost. She calls for him now.
For him? The Duke?
She says she's lost someone, but she doesn't remember the name. She shouts and shouts.
The Black Duke. If she can help you in any way, I can help her.
So he grabs you and like leans the head to your forehead, and you see he grits his teeth, almost like you can feel like they're gonna explode in his mouth.
I'll hold his head.
It's not helping anyone in here. This place. The from the deep. It will tear us to pieces. My mind, it slips. It slips.
I'll take his hand and I'll hold it on my heart, which I know that has a heartbeat right now.
Yeah.
Listen here. Please, Aiden. Listen here. Think back. Think back to where we were before all this. Cling to that, please. Beg of you. Remember it. Use it.
He grabs you very, very tightly, and if you see him as he smiles and a single red tear, and around you that these horrible just planes turns into the room again. And you can smell the whiskey, you can smell smoke, you can smell the carpet, you can hear the music. And almost like he exhales, but he does not.
See? It's not so horrible. It can be alright. It will be alright, Aiden. I will save you. I will have you back. And we will.
He kisses you. You're covered like in blood in this world. It does not matter, and he just embraces you, and then you hear the horrible knock on the door. Dum, dum, dum.
I'll turn to the door. Go away. Not now. It's not time. And I'll
And then
turn
he stares
back
at you again. Who did you bring, Shiv?
No one.
And when he says that, like, pure fright, who did you bring? It's almost like he's being sucked back, like on his knees, and like pulled out through the door that opens all of a sudden and slams shut.
And
then
like,
you
yeah.
hear someone coming very close to the back of you. And someone says something. Something that I will not say. You fall out of it. And you literally shaking and screaming. Do a rouse check.
Dices. It's the 2, so that's a fail.
Yeah, you burn blood, but you hear the beast scream. You scream. You scream. You see actually blood coming from your nose and your eyes, and you literally shake. You can see veins, like you're burning blood like crazy.
Can I? Do I have any like perception of who this is?
You don't know what it was.
Oh,
it was in there. It's just like
oh,
you just
it was
felt
in there.
something.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
And then now this is just an after
Oh,
effect.
yeah.
But then you still hear knocking. Gung, gung.
From where?
But perception. Wits awareness.
Oh, how hungry am I? Since we haven't really.
Very, very hungry.
Very, very. How many hungry?
But
You have to deem how
you
hungry
have,
I am,
how
since
many
I don't
dice
know.
you can have 2 hunger dice.
Okay.
You don't have to
Okay.
have 3,
So
'cause that would be
wits, awareness.
17. 1 million. 1 million. $1.
Yeah.
No.
That's 4.
You hear it, and it's coming from downstairs. It's coming from the vault.
I am going to run. I'm going to pick up whatever. No, I'm fine. I'm not naked either or anything. I am just going to.
But you
the,
see,
the
like,
box.
I don't know. You give a shit. You're covered in blood. Don't. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I don't care very shit.
You run past Eve. You're like, mistress. But who gives a shit?
I ignore her. Yeah. I run. Again, I don't have celerity on at that level, but I run like hell.
You manage to get into your sanctum. What box did you put a scroll with a name on it?
What box?
Or where did you put the scroll with a name on it?
Oh, that name. Probably inside my vault. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably in a box that's probably inside another safe inside the safe. Yeah.
But you hear gung 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 gung.
I stare it for a moment and then I open it. Oh, I mean, I would probably use some Auspex bullshit to see if it's what the hell this is. But are we in the
Yeah,
dice?
just do it. Because this is the last little
Okay.
bit of the last little interlude.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use Sense Unseen, of course. Of course. Now I have 2 hunger dices. God damn it. Let's... It's a bestial 1, 2, 4 again.
Oh, you go full on Auspex, full on Glad. I'd just be so fucking glad there's nobody down there. But yeah, you're gonna have to do.
Yeah, I mean, Eve didn't follow me. I hope.
But you'll get automatically a stain regardless because you are so fucking vulgar in like staring at it and opening it up, and you see the scroll dances for a minute and it lightens up. You can't read it because you don't know how to read it.
Mm-mm-mm.
But you see it shimmers. In a language you don't understand, as it hovers in the air, as it's almost like it knocks in reality, and it goes faster and faster and faster and faster until it, like, you see it flashes.
I think I'll just take it like before. I don't know. I don't have a feel if I feel like it's going to like burn up, but I need to keep the names. I'm like clinging on to it.
For that moment, I'm actually going to do something for cinematic value. So she knows. Through the hedge, through the gauntlet, into the land of Adam, the party of knights, and a king. Or 2 kings.
Yeah.
And a steed walks in to the opening of a park as the little mad one creeps forward and spreads out his long little arms and said, "Long live the king of Moth. May he reign eternal in glory." And stares with like almost tearful eyes as the king of Moth stares into a kingdom very broken, very distraught, with very few subjects left alive. Shiv for a minute sees through the eyes of the Prince of Daggers, staring into a park and feeling anger, sadness. And that's where we're going to stop the last interlude before we go into season 3. Thank you so much. This is it. Yeah. We are there. We are there. We are there. We are there. No interludes. Yeah. Fuck yeah. No interludes. We're done.
Season 3, baby.
We're there. Oh yes, please. We might do a Q&A situation with for all interested parties. Again, because we love so much your viewers' engagement in the story, and I know some of you guys, oh my god, you've been paying so much attention, and you keep me on my toes so goddamn hard when you pay attention to all the little nuggets and details that I know sometimes my players forget about, but your viewers, you don't. Yeah, if you guys are interested in us actually asking and answering some questions or explaining some stuff, what's happened, what's coming up, whatever it is, please, we'll be happy to do it. Just throw it out there. We might not do it immediately. We might do it a little bit into season 3. Just so, yeah, so we have some time to answer some questions. But on that note, yeah, that was it. How are we feeling?
Excited? There will be blood.
Yeah, there will be murder. There is blood. Someone is covered in it. It's as I said, it's been a story years in the making. That's perpetual, constantly changing, but staying the same. I've had the core plan of the story designed almost 3 years ago.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I believe role playing is supposed to be a fluctuating thing, and I don't think you should be married to a pure storyline, because I think that railroads players. I think you have to give them free range to tell the stories they are interested in telling, and if you give them freedom, they will show you how good a story actually can be if you do so. It's a matter of trust, and I trust my players. As you saw with the guest, what I had planned for Daniel with the Autumn Night, he did something completely different. And what he planned and what he thought, I thought was so much more elegant and so incredibly more interesting and so layered, that this cardboard cutout character I gave him, he just put soul, life, history, blah, 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 and he jammed it in there. And how can I not respect that and give him credit due? That's a telltale sign of a good player. That is, he gave me mad trust as well, and I trusted him. And then Bob's your uncle, magic happens. Role playing is for me the most amazing of hobbies and pastime fun. And if you can't play, try to, and if you haven't, try to. And if you only like football, I feel sorry for you. But there you go.
If you only like football, why are you watching this for?
Yeah, well then, like, I don't know. That's strange.
There's an interest there. Go play. Come on, trust me.
I'm not bashing football. I'm just saying this is so fucking fun.
Yes. And if you want to do some roleplay but don't like this setting, then there are so many others.
So many others, and we're kind of been hounding that guy as well to do a fun, adventurous D&D setting, because I think he really can show us what that's all about. So yeah.
I have several settings, but I am making one right now just that is absolute bonkers and fun and just full of power in so many ways, and there's nothing has one side to it.
I love that.
There's literally in this world there are technically, I think, I've made 6 or 5 to 6 elements that are technically the gods, but there are just the aspects of them and how they're interpreted and how they're used and abused throughout is just bananas.
Layers of complexity. I'm here for it, as you probably can tell from my stories as well.
Yes.
I'm into it. Make shit difficult because it's fun, and make your players suffer because that's fun, but give them sometimes something.
Time to shine.
On that note, again, your viewers, oh my god, thank you so much for your comments, likes and follows. As you probably tell, we're kind of into it, and please don't be shy. And if you're viewing and you haven't commented, please do. We love to hear from you new guys, but you loyal, and you guys, you know who you are. Big love. Big freaking love. And until next time, which will be season 3.
Season 3.
But then there is no safety net. There is no safety devices. Then
you're no settleth anymore from me.
I can, and that's it. That's season 3. So expect it not to be like the last season of Game of Thrones, but expect it to be maybe like Game of Thrones, but not like the last season.
Not the last season. No,
that's
the previous season, and then it's
if
fun.
you're afraid of an NPC that you actually appreciate and like, you're worried. I comment about that as well, because I'm gonna murder some folk. Just because I can.
Yeah. And if there's somebody you want murdered, pretend you're nervous about them.
I mean, Shiv has no plans of murdering anyone.
Especially not the Prince of Daggers, because he's just coming down for Kumbanya and Kiss Booth.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah.
Kiss Booth,
gonna open a new stand, sell some hot dogs, and
just peace, love, and happiness. He's gonna be the
Carly.
Star Krishna.
Starting a drum circle.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, the drums might be made of hunter skulls, but you know,
I'm thinking, don't knock it if you haven't tried it.
it's
Boom.
thrifting, you know.
All for that.
Reuse.
Thrifty as shit. We are
And
green.
on
Go
that
green.
note, I think we say goodbye.
We say goodbye. Bye. Bye. Until next time. Bye.